Good afternoon, everyone. It's Gord Isman here, and welcome. I have a great guest today, and we're going to talk about something very special, and his name's Owen Video, and we're going to be focused today on YouTube live stream video marketing strategies for 2018. And before I bring Owen on, I just want to share a couple of things. First of all, Owen's, incredibly multi-talented, and I had the pleasure of meeting him at Vid Summit this year. And I see Owen as he's an educator, a speaker, he's a podcaster. He does his podcasts with Nick, and he has other podcasts as well. And he is, which is the podcast being the Business of Video Marketing podcast. He's a business video marketing strategist and consultant, and of course a YouTuber. And I'm sure I've left a few out, but I mean, he's all that to me and more. And before we get going, I just want to share something very special that resonated very highly with me when I got to know and appreciate Owen a lot more. And it was on April 24th, 2017. I was reading a Facebook post that had a picture of Owen with this sort of like bewildered look, waiting to hear back on his cancer test results. And then he followed that up with an incredible video that was very, very emotional and hit my heart. And it showed me how incredible a human being that Owen is, and very inspirational, because he shared so much of his story and kept working, and while he was going through his chemotherapy and other things, and kept in touch with the audience, shared things, and always was helping raising others' boats while he was going through whatever. And I just want to say I truly appreciate you, man, for all that you do to help and inspire the rest of us, because we all have our ups and downs, but man, you've gone through a lot, and welcome, Owen, and I'm so happy to have you here as a guest today.
Yeah, I am so happy to be here, Gord. April 24th, 1992, there was a riot on the streets. Tell me where. That was an old Sublime song, but I remember that day, and I remember it was a year past chemo, and chemo. What chemo does is it basically eliminates every ounce of cancer from your body by eliminating anything that cancer can live on. You know what I mean? So all the good, healthy stuff goes out. And so I knew in my head that I did not have any more cancer. And in my head, it was like, how could I logically have any more cancer in my body? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, why am I here then? Right? And I'm here because there's a possibility. There's that 1% chance. And so I remember being freaked out and just not knowing what to do. And so when that result came in, like, hey, you're all good to go home. The nurses were like, yeah, no problem. Go ahead, go. For me, it was like this whoosh, right? Like unbelievable. And so I came outside to do that live stream, and I was walking back and forth in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. People were looking at me, and I'm doing this live stream, and I'm saying to myself, nothing can stop me now. And since then, I've launched a podcast with Nick. I've reinvigorated my channel. I've reinvigorated my YouTube channel. I've sort of remade my business. I even got a new hairstyle. It's like the only thing I didn't do was get a new tattoo, and that's because I'm so picky about my tattoos. I want to make sure I love it. But I so appreciate that you brought up that day, because that was a great day for me, and I thank God for that day. Pam and Joe Roderick, Air 5 to you guys. Good to see you log into the YouTube chat. We're going to have a great time today. Now, normally, because Gord doesn't know what I'm like at my third. This is my third live stream today, so I'm hoping that I can keep you guys awake.
That won't happen, because I brought some weapons myself. I learned from today that Owen said that you need to have props or something. So here I am, 58 years young, chocolate bar and an energy nut bar, should I need it. So here we go.
That's awesome. Gord came prepared, folks. Gord came prepared. And hey, Joe and Pam, let me know if you guys can hear the sound effects. I want to make sure you guys can hear them okay, because they're part of the punchline. Gord, I love what you're doing with OBS. You learned this from Nick?
Well, I've watched several of Nick's videos, but I managed to when I did my live stream with Ileane Smith, and I had a near total meltdown, because for 15, 17 minutes I couldn't get the audio to come out of my OBS. While on that broadcast, someone named Michael Daniels surfaced and said he could help me, and he reached out to me after, and Ileane said, Michael will help me, and he's awesome. He has a channel, and he runs a game show as well with OBS and Zoom that's so sophisticated. I was just like blown away when I actually saw it. He helped me.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and you're going to see, like, I mean, even the people at Zoom have reached out to him to see how sophisticated his production is and how did he make it all happen. So, anyways, cool. I'm grateful. I'm meeting, this whole experience in my challenge is bringing me to meet all kinds of interesting, cool people, and I'm just grateful that I kind of like stepped up and I'm growing and learning. And as I said to Owen as we started, don't count on me to look at the chat because I can't, with my vision, see the small fine print on my iPad mini, but I have the pop-up, and we're doing our best as we go.
Yeah. Okay, so I just changed my audio settings, so if you guys could let me know. Oh, man, the chat is blowing up right now.
That's awesome.
Carlos, what's going on? Carlos, is a
Carlos.
friend and a client. He's just an up-and-coming talent. Can you guys hear our sound effects, or are we totally... Is it not playing? Hopefully you guys heard that. Let us know. I like to have fun. I like to be multimedia, but it's not dependent on the show today. No. So making sure all of our
we've got a lot of great stuff to go through today, and my interest about YouTube live strategies to learn a lot and share with everyone about Owen's background in marketing and helping and his skills in video and as a strategist and consultant and how he serves clients, because let's learn how the small business guy, entrepreneur, can learn to utilize live and position it in the space of like.
And that's where I think excel. That is my, I've had smaller YouTubers come up to me and they write me all the time, and I love these guys. Guys, I love you. But I hear these YouTubers saying all the time, "How do I grow my channel? How do I grow my channel?" And my response to them is it's kind of one-sided. It's kind of like, well, why are you growing a channel? If you're growing a channel for fame, if you're growing a channel so that one day you could be recognized at VidCon, I think that's more of a Nick Nimmin scenario. I think that's more of a G. Johnson scenario. When you say, "Oh, and I have a business and I want to use YouTube to grow my business," well, at that point, we're in a really, really good place, because that is where I excel. That is what I do. Right. I show owners and entrepreneurs who are already successful, meaning you already have a business and you're already selling products. Maybe you're not a millionaire, and that's okay too. Maybe you're just launching. I have a couple startup clients as well. But the idea is this: if you're going to use YouTube to grow your business, there is no one better out there than Owen.
And I'm hoping, because you're on the other side now, that I'm going to be able to bring out some of those nuggets to help us all get a good perspective on it. So thank you. I see there's Pam there and Carlos, and I saw British Cook and Joe Roderick. That's Drew, and it's great to see everybody here. So
I love Carlos. I'm going to call Carlos out. I love how, Carlos, you'll post in Roberto Blake's group about your personal channel, but then you'll post in my client group about your client channel. You are the future of YouTube, my friend, Carlos.
Carlos is doing a great job. I love what he's doing, and it's awesome. And guess what, Owen? He's a Camtasia user. All right.
Oh, why do you think he's a Camtasia user?
Yeah.
We on a client call, and we edited Camtasia video together on a client call, and we made some phenomenal memes, which I'm still waiting to see on Facebook, sir.
Excellent.
But yeah, absolutely, Camtasia is amazing, and I hope that everybody starts to use them.
Super. So I'd like to start off by saying, it's simple, like we already kind of know this. Why are you so excited about live, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube? And are we like in like a renaissance, like a rebirth of live for use in video marketing? And I ask that because there's so much changing in the technology, in the software, in the ability to do higher level production. So many people that like you said, I have a small business or whatever, and I really want to get out there. And for a long time, a lot of people won't even get to the stage of being able to press, I'm going to do it, record and do it, because technology sophistication wasn't there. And like, so where are we at? Because you have the people like Ross Brand, Professor Nez, all kinds of shows, Jenny Q. You showcase and talk about all these kind of people. So what is so special about the time and sweet spot where we're in now in the life cycle of live?
Yeah. I want to talk bigger picture to answer that question. First of all, media operates in cycles, okay? And when mass media first kind of hit the streets, it was radio, right? Mm-hmm. Before that, it was like the beep, 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 telegraph stuff. And then even before that was semaphores, okay? And this is what I majored in school. It's always been a passion for me. And then we hit radio and television, and then we have the internet, and now people are, I'm a deposed prince in Nigeria. All this communication is happening without any validation or credibility as to who or what is sending that message. And so now we've seen this cycle kind of close up, and we're moving back into the days of radio and to television, and that's what live video is. We're using live stream television to kind of do a radio broadcast, and you guys will notice that a lot of what I'm doing is based on what radio has taught our civilization. And the same is true for television as well. So on a bigger picture, what we're seeing is not this emergence of live video, but a resurgence of traditional media tactics to help connect a disconnected world, right? So we don't know who's talking to us. We don't know who made the video. We don't know who this deposed prince of Nigeria is. And we're sending people money and we're getting scammed. All of a sudden, and this is just kind of big picture stuff, guys, but then all of a sudden live video comes out, and now, we're able to see who it is we're talking to. We're able to see what Owen video is like on a live call. What is Owen looking like when he's consulting a client? What is Owen looking like when he's going live? And so there's this trust and there's this credibility that has been absent from the digital sphere for 2 decades, right? I graduated in 1998. The internet really hit big in 97 and hit mainstream in 97. Here we are, 2017. So wow, 20 years. Wait, 97, 07, 17, right? So like 20 years later. And now what we want to do is we want to connect again. All right. So live video is connecting. Pre-recorded video is awesome and we love it. And there's an authenticity there that we don't want to discredit. However, when you're live, you cannot fake it. When you're pre-recorded, of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Shut up, stupid kid. I'm gonna smack you. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Christian Lover channel, where I talk to you all about the love of Jesus. And you can fake it. Yeah. You can fake it, and Lord knows I've had to do it. Lord knows I'm kicking my kids, off to the side when they come in here. You can fake it on live video or with pre-recorded. On live video, you cannot fake it.
That's right.
People want to see that. They want to see you being you, not being the character you portray.
I see Michael Daniels joined us. He's the gentleman I told you about with the OBS stuff and how he helped me put this masterful, cool-looking setup together. So he's joined us. Welcome, Michael. And
hey, Michael.
Ooh, thank you very much. I got a super chat from Hillbilly Boys. Awesome. Thank you so much. Very kind. So my next question, Owen, is so many of the live streamers, and you demonstrated this today, is the concept of props, right? Yeah. And props has now got to the point where it's being inline and included in the feeds, and your ability to introduce all of that stuff, even just like whether it's Facebook Live or Instagram or other things. And I'm sure YouTube's going to have those kind of filters and other things. Do you think that some of this stuff has gotten to the point of faddish? And I want you to talk about that in the context of you work with clients, so you need to help them get going, and all of these features and things are there. So I'm just curious, like, where does that kind of stuff, all the glossiness fit in, the props fit into the big picture? Because
here's the thing is that everyone's doing the same thing. Okay, live video is a great equalizer, especially mobile live, you know? And I've been live streaming since 2006, probably even earlier. I remember doing a live video podcast on Ustream with my wife called like Pregnancy Pals or something, because my wife and I, we've had 4 kids and we're really involved in like the homeopathics and naturopathic, that kind of thing. So we were interviewed on a show. We had a great time. And then all of my kids were actually born on YouTube live on my personal channel with a program called QIK.com, which is a Skype-owned company. I think it's now really big in like the third world.
Okay.
You know, it's not really around mainstream anymore, but that's where I started. Now, anybody with a phone, you know, could go live. And I got this funny analogy that I say we all go to Costco, you know, and some people say, you know, we're all human or we all bleed red. You know, for me, it's like we all go to Costco, right? That's the American, you know, we all kind of shop at the same stores. We all that's our culture, right? And here's the thing, we all have beige walls. That's something that's true about Western culture, is that houses are built with beige walls. So it's a great equalizer, but we all realize that we have equally bad scenarios for live streaming in our homes, right? So we're live streaming. Like, oh, I got a beige wall. I have a Milgard window in the background. Same as everybody freaking else, okay? And that is going to be a killer in live, because when you go onto your Facebook newsfeed and 10 people are going live from their office or their home, it's going to look the same. There's going to be like a small plant behind them and a beige wall. Absolutely horrible way to go live. So enter in the props. You know, for example, this phone is not a phone. It's actually a dummy phone. It's a lookalike. It's a little bit heavier than a traditional iPhone. It's a little bit thinner than a traditional iPhone. It doesn't work at all, but it looks like a phone. So I can use this out and I can show people, hey, when you're holding your phone, hold it like this. I can demonstrate different cases and I can really go neat with it. What that does is it shows the viewer that I'm doing something different than the beige wall, right? It shows viewer that I care more about my delivery than you do. And here's a big secret, guys. You know, my beige wall. I've got a beige wall, same as anyone else. And if you look at the walls, my wall, this background from earlier in the year, you'll see that I was broadcasting on a beige wall. I had some like some whiteboards instead of thinking that was interesting. It's not. You know, live video, it puts everyone on this equal playing field, right? Same as James Altucher, right? His podcast, same thing. It's like we're all on this level playing field. But what I can do is I can add a vinyl background. I can paint my wall blue. I can add a big giant freaking star in the middle of the wall to make my background more interesting. And now I was at the same level as a multimillionaire, but I just increased my value by painting the blue wall. And so now I'm ahead of the game, right? And this is what live does. Live allows you out there listening right now, where maybe you're paycheck to paycheck, maybe you've got a few bucks in the bank. I'm not saying you're struggling, but you don't necessarily have the money to remodel your home. Okay, you take $20 and go get a paint bucket. Change the scenario, which changes the game for you. My good friend Rachel Moore painted her corner purple and then dyed her hair purple, and so now it's a differentiating factor. Probably cost her less than $100 to do. And now she stands out online.
I agree with you. And so much has changed that, you know, once you start to understand the dynamics of lighting and all the other basics, you know, you don't necessarily have to have the big soft lights. You can buy less expensive LEDs. You can bounce light off walls. And once you start to learn the principles, you can get set up fairly easy, fairly quickly with all kinds of options. So it's just profound how much more accessible it is to everyone. And I really like that. So my question now becomes that, so if I'm like a small business, and you know, you tell me I should be spending money on going live, how do you convince them to displace the money from other things they spend in their budget in their business? So how do you position it?
Okay, so the question is how do you convince someone to go live, you know? And Michael is saying stuff about green screens. Joe is saying stuff about lighting, and I hope we have a chance to come back to kind of some of those things, because I want to urge all of you guys to avoid green screens. If you are a new producer, you're new to video, green screen is going to be a big challenge, because a green screen doesn't exist right? It doesn't, and Michael, it's a wonderful suggestion. We have green screens as well, but you've got to dial your lighting in. Now you've got to dial your tech in.
Yeah.
And you've got to dial in the settings on that green screen to make sure there's no pixelation. There's no purple colors coming out of you. So there's a lot to be said about that. But I'll tell you this, Gord, if somebody is out there going, I don't know if I should live stream, then you're simply not ready to be my client yet. My clients don't come to me in this, I'm thinking about live streaming. My clients are like, I would rock live streaming. What's my first step? So in positioning live streaming, what we do is we show them. We show people how easy it is to live. And we do that by going live in the park.
Yeah.
And I went live in the park one time, and I'm very keen on, I'm always authentic, but I'm very keen on what I show and what I don't show. I never show my dirty laundry except for once, well, maybe twice. When I was showing you guys, you can do this with your dirty laundry right here. And I showed my dirty laundry right now. Of course, I hid the unmentionables and all that gross stuff. I don't want that to show. So remember that you're always in control of what people see. And I wanted to I show people with live streaming, look, this is how you can do a live stream in the park for your business. People go, wow, I don't want to live stream with in the park with my kids. Like that's not professional. No, it's not. But what is professional is showing people that every now and then you take a break to go get refreshed. And you do that by taking a walk in the park. And what does that mean for them? It means they get better attention from you, they get a clear mind from you, and they get your freshest ideas from you. So you've taken this idea of I can't really go live in the park because it's unprofessional, and you flipped it on its head to now it's you need to go live from wherever you are and make it a professional message.
And I think that's so powerful because oftentimes when the inspiration hits you with that message and you know that if you deliver it in the moment, it's going to come out better than ever, and you decide to pass because you're not there in a studio with a green screen and lights, etc., then you can get frustrated, right? And you missed the moment. But in defense of green screens, when I say that, I understand when someone's starting out that a lot of people will go, I can't handle dealing with all of that. And so that'll be like an excuse not to, consider going live and doing. But started
on green screen. I started on green screen. I started on green screen. Everything I did was green screen. And it's great for pre-recorded video because you have the time to dial it in and you can copy and paste. But what happens when there's a green trail around your arms, during a live stream, and now you're trying to switch, engage, deliver, and dial in your green screen? It is one of those things where you've got to be that's a side project that you do. I would rather that you guys, rather than go spend the $20 on a green screen, go spend $20 on a can of paint and paint your wall blue, paint it purple, paint it orange, do something other than a beige wall. So you have that one differentiating factor. Here's a great idea. Go paint your wall bright orange. Go bright orange and put a light behind you and have it focused on the wall. So now you've got this halo around you, orange gradient. It would pop. It would just super pop. And purple, green, yellow, all of that stuff works.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do in here because I have this lovely looking credenza thing in the back that's not very attractive. So I had my little TV on this side, and there's Owen. See, I'm learning how to point. It's going to take time and how to get the pictures to happen.
It's a challenge. I love what you have going back, and here's why. Look at what Gord has going on. If that credenza wasn't there, your skin tone, your hair color would blend almost identically to the wall.
True.
So that brown credenza really makes you pop. And what you have these pillars on the side here. So what you could do is you could go get some Roman pillar vinyl kind of stickers and put them on your wall and make it like Roman-esque thing. You could also put some paper lanterns in the back there and get those to sort of light up.
Yeah, I'm going to explore doing some things and dress up a little more what's behind there. And, a lot of people have put a hashtag out there if they have one and things like that. So there's a lot of options too. And so that was great. By the way, I really loved the video that you did outside demonstrating the gimbal with your wife. You remember you did this walking video? That was really cool. Well done outside. I just wanted to mention that.
You know what? that's my point there, guys, is that like you asked me about positioning your live stream. I would love to know for you, Foul Fish, Zapata, Michael Daniels, Jen Adventures is back on.
Yay. Welcome, Jen.
So
and
glad
Blush
that you guys,
Blush. Yeah.
I think she just left. Here's what my question is for you is, why are you live streaming? Let us know in the comment section, because I want to sort of refer back to that and maybe pull some ideas so that I'm not just pulling from my clients. But with live video, you have the opportunity to show me you know me, right? Yeah. Show you know me. Okay. So what a lot of us want to do on live stream is they go, oh, well, I'm going to live stream my message to the world. And they do exactly that, right? They go, hey, everybody, welcome to my live stream. Well, I'm going to explain to you the benefits of live streaming video on the web. And you're all going to be and it's like, I'm falling asleep listening to the intro. When instead you show them live streaming and you say, you're just kind of doing this live stream where you're like, hey, everybody, I'm live streaming in my office right now, and I want to show you the 4 pieces of equipment that I use. And you're showing them mic, you're showing them the camera, you're showing, as opposed to going through this whole, like, I'm going to tell you about it, show them that video is. And that's the big mistake a lot of live streamers are making, is they treat it like radio, and it is like radio, but it's not radio, right? You got to pull these viewers in and show them. We did a stream today and we talked about the first rule of live streaming is be demonstrative. Be demonstrative, where you're showing people something, even if it's only for a second. And that's why I keep kind of putting the phone up, is because I'm just changing the scene up for you guys to make it more interesting. My number one priority is not that you guys buy from me, is not that you visit my website, is that while you're here in my house, per se, you enjoy your time. And even though this is Gord's channel, it's Gord's show, we're hosting you guys here.
Exactly.
And while you're here, I want you to have a good time. And that's my only concern.
Okay. So we've gotten by the concept of budget, and what you're saying is, like, when you get in touch with people and they reach out with you, they've already got it in their mind that they know they need to take this step to start to apply video marketing and live streaming in their business. So there's a couple of choices, right? So we have YouTube and we have Facebook, and YouTube is more like a destination place where people go to solve problems, or where their watch time and these different kinds of things. Pardon me?
I'm sorry, I keep rocking over. I had like 2 glasses of Coke before.
Or is this because I'm too slow? I need a piece of chocolate now, Owen. Hold on.
Rude.
Okay.
I'm rude.
I'll be strong soon. Okay.
I keep stepping over you. But YouTube is a search scenario.
Right.
Facebook is a serve scenario. So on YouTube, you're looking for content. You're more likely to watch it all, because after all, that's what you came here for. Whereas on Facebook is putting it in front of you because they have guessed that you'll like this.
Right.
So you're not always likely to watch the whole thing.
Right. So, and also the feed goes by in Facebook, and it's not as much of an evergreen situation, and in YouTube, your whatever you've live streamed can live on as well. So you have the ability to have something stay there. So how can you give me a couple of examples of clients, you don't have to name anything, where you'd say, hey, if I know someone, I'll just give you an example. They're a business coach, and should they be focused more on using Facebook live streaming, or should they be starting to build a library of stuff and using YouTube live streaming? So I'm trying to understand the platform differences for how you apply it to different businesses and scenarios.
Phenomenal question. And it really all comes down to workflow, because at the end of the day, video marketing is video ads. It is live video. It is pre-recorded video. It's Instagram video. It's all these different things. And Michael Daniels is,
thank you, Michael.
Has been great. It's great to meet you, Michael. Be sure to reach out to me on Facebook and let's talk more. So all of these things matter, and it comes down to, number one, the client's capabilities. Are you even capable of going live? Do you enjoy that idea? And I've had clients say, no. I got a client right now who's like, I am not interested in going live at all. No problem. So we don't go live. We focus on the pre-recorded stuff. But I've got clients that are like, I'm really not that into YouTube. I got a client right now who loves live, but is not that into YouTube. And so you've got to examine your resources and think about what's best for you. Here's one strategy that we recommend. is that you have a camera within a camera scenario. So you're filming your pre-recorded YouTube videos live right here, but your phone, your phone is on a tripod right behind you, and that's going live. So what you're doing is this, and that's one way to do it. You could also do the live and then pull the recording and edit it. But the idea is this, is that you're doing your content live to show your audience that you're going live and to give them sort of a first-hand glimpse of the content. Think of it like The Tonight Show with, is it Fallon, Jimmy Fallon? I'm not sure who hosts what now these days, but let's just say Conan O'Brien, because he's an old schooler and he's a new schooler. Let's say that you go see Conan O'Brien live, right? He's going to do it live, but you're not going to see that episode till tonight, and it's going to be highly edited. You're not going to see the blurbs. You're not going to see all that stuff. Your live could be the same way. You're going live to engage your audience and to give your Facebook audience sort of like a first-hand view. Right. In that scenario, you don't need them watching the whole video. You really just kind of want them watching a little bit, and you're branding yourself as someone who does this. Now, what you'll do is you'll take that recording, you'll edit it up, and you'll put it on YouTube for an evergreen scenario. So now you've got two videos. You did one live on Facebook, and it lives on Facebook, and you can promote it and boost it and link it and all that stuff. But now you've got this other higher quality version that's a little more succinct. It's all the fine points, and that's designed for YouTube. So you spent let's just say 1 hour. Right. But you got 4 videos out of it, 1 live and then 3 pre-recorded videos. I have been doing that for years. I have been teaching that to people, and it works. It absolutely works every time. So you're big into almost like the multicasting concept as well. Then would you say that? I mean, that's really only one Facebook Live and then pre-recorded, but you're leveraging the opportunity is really what you're doing, right? Yeah, multicasting is when you're live on a multiple different platforms at one time, right? What I'm talking about is more of a repurposing strategy where you're live for a live audience, you're engaging the live audience, but you're also within that live, you're trying to finish your YouTube videos. Right? And even if it's like, for example, Jen Adventures is saying, good idea. A lot of Jen, what you do is like outside, you're fishing, you're at the park, you're doing all this different stuff. You know, what you could do but that narration part that you do where you're in your house, you do that part live. Right. Take the recording, add it to your outdoor stuff. And now now the people that watched on Facebook, they have a reason to see it again. Very cool. I want the final version. How many of you guys ever been to see a taping of Jay Leno or whoever, Conan O'Brien? You saw the taping, but I guarantee you, when the show aired, you watched it. I guarantee it. Right? I went to American Gladiators when I was a kid. And my dad got us these. Remember American Gladiators? My dad has great tickets. In the front, like we put our hands out and he high fives us. We were right behind one of the families of one of the gladiators, so we got a lot of airtime. We watched the whole show, and guess what? When it was on TV, guess what? We watched it again. Yeah, because we wanted to see how they adjusted it, what was different. Did I actually make it on camera? Did he say my name? Hey, remember that part where I made Carlos Zepeda laugh? Let's see if he kept that part in. So going live, recording your YouTube videos live for your audience is a very strong idea. Okay. So now I'm going to flip hats, and I'm Owen, and I'm in business, and all of this technology's come out. In the past, you may have done a lot more green screen videos, a lot more setup, a lot more portability, serving people in local video market, and now live's in the picture. So has your consulting work and what you're doing with people turned into more strategic focused and educating them and helping them execute, because now they can hold that mobile phone in their hand and use natural lighting or explore more on the outside and not have to have the kind of setup that would be more traditionally done in a pre-recorded thing, because now live is another option. So how has it affected the business of the consulting for you? It's a great question. So I think what you're asking is, in the beginning you were doing things a different way and you were still taking clients. Now you're doing things a new way. How has your business model changed? Well, I'll tell you, the first thing that we talk about is your personal home studio, your personal office studio. What are the necessary things you need right now to be able to film whenever you have an idea? Because my overriding philosophy is that when you have an idea, press record and do it for your camera, right? Maybe you have a beige wall. Maybe you don't have any props. That's okay in the beginning, right? Because you just have to get the content and you have to be there. Being there, we want to get a result for our client immediately. I don't mean $1,000 in sales. What I mean is a watcher, a viewer, a liker, a commenter. You get a commenter for a new client right away. Yeah. I got one client right now, Master Trader. They sell stock trading tips and courses. What they do is the second they started working with me, we doubled their views very, very quickly, and they started getting comments. And all of a sudden, like, Owen.
Connection.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, that was just the beginning. But the whole idea is that you get something different for them right off the bat. And we do that with the home studio by just getting more content out there. The second part of that is developing resources. So with Carlos and Kiwi over at Kiwi Real Estate, they were talking about, well, we're going to get a videographer a couple times a year. And I was like, whoa, guys, you get a videographer once a year, maybe twice a year, and you have them follow you around for half a day, and you get all these little 3-second, 5-second clips that you use as B-roll in your videos. Mm-hmm. Those becomes fodder for your bumpers. They become transitions. They become social video memes and all this different content. Use it for, and it will cost you $300, $400, right? Mm-hmm. As opposed to hiring a videographer for like a photo shoot, or like, I'm going to hire a videographer to shoot my 5 YouTube videos. Dude, you are going to pay out the nose for that, and when you're done, you're only going to have 5 videos. Whereas you can save those videos into your webcam for free, and then use the B-roll from the $300 shoot to kind of mix it up and disperse it and make it more watchable. We also
so you're saying that's changed. So that's much more practical now, and less expensive. So your strategy for your clients is very different now. So it's almost like, in a way, they kind of like need you less from the technical videography kind of execution, or that service is not as extensive, and you're more consulting at another level to help them execute their strategy in delivering and promotion and SEO and all the other dimensions to execution, right?
Yeah, you're gonna find a much better video. So 2 years ago, my primary business was holding a camera, pressing the button, and adjusting the lens for people. Like, that's what I did. I was behind the camera. I was a videographer, and I hated my life, right? Because I have this amazing idea, but Captain Douchebag Business Owner wants his idea, and it's like. Yep. Got to remember, as a videographer, they're hiring your technical ability.
That's right.
Not creative genius. So, this guy always wins. And then what happens at the end of the day when their video inevitably tanks, right? Do they blame themselves? Do they look inward and they go, hey, we really need to think about how we disrespected that videographer and ask him for his opinion? No, they say the exact opposite. They go, that videographer really screwed us. We're never going to hire him again. They hire someone else who does the exact same thing, offers them creative advice. They don't take it. Their video tanks. That is what, and they say, oh, I tried YouTube and it doesn't work. Okay. That's the business place that I was in. Almost zero referrals. So I would have my clients fly out to me, and we would go into the studio. I was renting, office space, and I had my studio in there. And so I'd bring them into the studio. I'd set it all up for them. I'd shoot with them. I'd tear it all down. I'd lock it all up and wait for the next client to call. Meanwhile, every minute that passes by, I'm spending money on this building that was never getting used. And I had actually, at one point, guys, I had 3 different offices that I was renting. And I was making money, don't get me wrong, but profitability is a whole different thing when you look at like the profitability at the end of the day. And I remember saying to my wife, this is ridiculous. I need to work with clients to where they're getting 100,000 views. I need to work with clients where they're actual sales from what's going on here. And then that's going to create referrals. That's going to create word of mouth. And that's going to create buzz. Exactly what happened. So we transitioned from a place, and I remember I actually had clients at this point. I was working with this female business coach, and I only say female to give you the visual in your mind. It has really nothing to do with the story. But a female business coach, and out in Encinitas, and just treating me like dirt. Like, wouldn't take any of my advice, wouldn't listen to any of my strategy suggestions. They got their live video back, and it was actually really, really good. But they wanted something else. They were expecting TV, cable quality stuff. And she goes, I'm not going to pay you.
Oh, lovely.
I'm not going to pay you unless you do this. And then I had another client who was calling me 9 times a day. Oh, this edit is 1 second off. That edit is 2 seconds off. And I yelled at both of them. And it's not like me to look like that, you know? So I remember actually crying in my room. Like it was maybe 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. And I just fell on my knees and I said to my wife, I hate my business. I hate the work we're doing. I hate my clients. It's something needs to change. And so what we did is we did change. We made that change. And now we're in a place where I don't even touch a camera for a client. If I touch my camera for a client, you will pay out the nose for it. And I don't mean that like I'm gouging my clients, but my value, I get $500 an hour for what I do. If I have to do a video camera, if I have to do video for you, I don't all of a sudden adjust my value to a videographer's value. No, it's my value, but you're only getting the videographer skill set. And here's the thing, I'm not very good as a videographer, right? I don't even know how a DSLR works. If it doesn't have autofocus, I'm lost, right? And these don't make me less valuable as a video marketer. It means my skill set is different. I know I want to see a blurred background. I know it's called a bokeh, and I know that you need a 50 millimeter lens or like a 75 to make it happen. What I don't know how to do is I don't know like how to boop, beep, bop, beep, boop, you know, and make all that happen. I pay someone $25 an hour to do that while I'm charging the client $4.95.
Exactly.
Do you guys see how that?
And this is where I was hoping that this conversation was going, because my belief and in the way I work with clients too, it's not about being their videographer or the tech skilled person to execute the recording. You're really helping them to succeed in executing their business on the platform, right? Yes. And you talked about you talk about your 3 Ps, right? And you in your consulting make sure that they're sorting that. You want to explain to people, so like you consult with someone, and let's just take like I don't know, a real estate agent, because you've got a lot of experience in working with agents, right?
Yeah,
so
like you're in real estate agent, sure.
So are you going to buy the type of business that they're doing? So I gave to you an example of like a business coach, or say a one-on-one coach that does success coaching versus a real estate agent. Are you going to advocate going live on YouTube and Facebook, or what combination? Can you just give me an example of how you resolve that for in a few scenarios?
Great question. Okay, so what's the strategy, right, at that point? And keep in mind, I've been making videos on the web since live streaming since 06, maybe more like 07, but uploading to YouTube since 05, 06, and even doing video way before then. Back in the day, guys, I used to work for a renovation company. And what I did was I would make PowerPoints, and then I would PowerPoint had a thing called like PowerPoint Story, and you could export it as a self-playing PowerPoint. So I would time transitions, I would time slides, and do all these things so that when somebody opened it in an email, it just played for them. I was doing video marketing before you could even send video in the web. So I've learned. I've worked with realtors, I've worked with construction, and I've worked with attorneys, and I've worked with all these different people. So what it all comes down to is the P3 content strategy. And I live by this. I swear by this. Will you shut the door for me, please, my son? I live by this. I swear by this. And it is the P3 content strategy: platform, people, and purpose. So anytime you're asking yourself, what do I do? Or anytime you're wondering what's the strategy here, it comes down to platform, people, and purpose. So you mentioned real estate. Person. So I would say, okay, well, first of all, let's talk about the platform. Where are we uploading these videos to? And almost everybody calls me or writes to me with a platform in mind. Hey, we want to grow on Facebook. Hey, we want to rank on Google. Or hey, I want to grow on YouTube. So the platform is already established. Okay. Right. Then you've got your platform. Now you've got your people. Who are we trying to market to? Right? Now, I tell you, you guys probably know these things in your mind, but your marketers, your consultants are not asking you these questions. They are largely trying to get you into a cool video scenario as quickly as possible. For me, I want you to be doing video the rest of your career. Right. And so I'm teaching you how to think about video. Right? And I don't even go through this stuff really until you've already paid me, you know, because I don't want anybody going, oh, and I got enough out of our free meeting. I don't think come back to you. You know what I mean? In the free meeting, I tell people, look, if you want anything from me, you're going to have to pay. And that's basically the free meeting, you know, at that point. And here are my prices. So we tell them, platform people. So we're the people. Anybody. I can serve anybody. That's a lie. It's a lie you're telling yourself, and it's a lie you're going to tell yourself all the way until you finally have to shut your doors. You are not serving anybody. You are serving pockets of people one at a time. I've had a soccer mom client buy a house from me. I've had a corporate executive guy buy a house from me, right? I've had a 17-year-old buy a house from me. I can serve anybody. Well, what you're doing is you're misreading the reality of that situation. You have 3 audiences, not everybody. You have soccer moms, you have millennials, and you have executives. And those are 3 separate campaigns requiring 3 different approaches. You've got to decide which people you're going to focus on first. Whenever I have that conversation with somebody and we go through the buyer persona and who you're actually trying to target, it always comes out that you're right. I guess I don't serve everybody. I guess there really is. I say at the end of the day, and Carlos and Kiwi, we had this conversation, and you guys you guys didn't come to me with this I serve everybody. You guys came to me with I serve higher end clients. But then we talked about who are they? Are they okay? So they're wealthy, 55-ish plus executive types, right? Or entrepreneur types.
Right.
Why then are they buying their house? And this still goes into people. What's the people's motivation, right? And we were talking about divorce. It's divorce, right? They're divorcing, so they got to sell their house, or they're divorcing and they're buying a house, or is it midlife crisis, right? Is it I need a bigger house because of my midlife crisis, or is it downsizing? So now we've targeted, it's this 55-year-old white collar executive, almost retired kind of guy. Why is he buying? And then we were playing with divorce. Remember that, Carlos? And we actually ended up that wasn't our target market, and it was muddy ground anyway. Like, who wants to be like, hey, are you divorcing? Like, let me help you through the worst time in your life. That wasn't the motivation. The motivation was something different. So you got platform. Where are you going to put the video on? And you always upload video that's appropriate for the platform. You've got people. Who are the people? What are their motivations for moving forward with you? And then purpose. What is the goal of the video? And this is where it gets really muddy, okay? Because you want your video to get subscribers. You want your video. Everyone says, I want likes, views, subscribers, shares, sales, traffic, all of these things.
I want it all.
Yeah. And they think it's, well, I saw a video once where the guy said, hey, subscribe to me on YouTube and then share this video and then do some, Just because you liked a video that did it wrong doesn't mean you should copy their model, right? You've got to look at your video and say, what is this video supposed to do? So, for example, I launched a video on my channel today. I would love it if you guys would go check it, or yesterday. I'd love it if you guys would go check it out at owenvideo.net. Go to owenvideo.net. You'll go right to my channel. I'd love for you to watch and leave a comment and become a subscriber on the channel. But, I knew that this video wasn't going to, go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's the thing. I made this video. The purpose of this video was to save time, right? The video is called How to Share a Pre-Scheduled Facebook Live. Nobody even knows that you can't share a pre-scheduled Facebook Live. So no one's Googling this.
Right.
So the purpose of the video can't be to rank. Oh, I'm going to make this really obscure video to rank on YouTube, right? Doesn't work that way. I'm gonna make this video to get lots of sales. Well, there's no real sales message here, so that's not necessarily gonna work. So what was the point of this video? Well, all my clients keep asking me, how do I do this?
It's funny.
For my public channel, and now when they ask me that question, I can send them the video instead of have this conversation over and over again.
It's funny. I've done so many videos with Camtasia that I've done videos on a lot of topics that some people aren't asking for in search, but I know their problems because people have reached out to me to ask, how do you do this? Or what's a good way to do that? How do I solve this problem? So I've made some of those videos, and because that I have, a decent amount of authority in the space for Camtasia videos now, they're all getting traction and happening because people are discovering them. So there's other dynamics at play, right? For people to eventually find that content's out there, right? So
and it's like accumulated watch time, right?
Yeah.
Like over time, people will see this video and they'll, but it's not the point. Now I've got a video coming out in a couple weeks that's designed to rank #1 behind a top producing YouTuber who's got tons of views. We're going to copy his title almost exactly. I'm only adding additions to it, and it's 201.
Right.
Because he has his is 8 tips,
right.
and mine's getting 2018 tips.
Nice.
You like that?
Yep.
So I'm title jacking, and just saw our good friend Eyesight Build, and also
welcome Herman, and
time.
Thank you, Hillbilly Boys, again for the super chat. Very kind, much appreciated. And we got a lot more to dig out here, and I hope those of you watching, if you're enjoying it, share it out. I need to learn how the Owen method. The Owen method to work the broadcast. You do that so well, and because we're dropping a lot of great knowledge to share with people, because I'm trying to get a different angle from Owen than what's more traditional, because you're usually the one interviewing all the guests, and now we have an opportunity here to learn some great stuff from you at another level too.
I'm really sharing stuff that I only share with clients too, so I'm glad you guys are watching, and I hope you take it to heart. Now, Alex asked a question.
Yep.
He says we're not hippies, we're tree huggers. I love it. I didn't even see your question, so if you want to re-ask it, Alex, I'm happy to dig into it. But your purpose, so the purpose of your video has got to be one thing. It doesn't mean you can't say, hey, go visit my ebook, or join me for the webinar, subscribe to my channel, right? Like, you might make a video that's designed to rank, but you're still going to say subscribe to my channel, right? Because that's part of what you do in YouTube videos. But you've got to say to yourself, at the end of the day, what do you want this video to do? If it's to generate sales, and it's always, if you choose, if I had to choose, it would be generate sales. And I go, okay, do you really expect to generate sales with one video, your first video, or at least your first good video? Is that your expectation? And the client will look at me and go like, well, I was hoping you'd say, I was hoping it would be. No, the reality is, the reality is this, is that you're going to need a handful of videos to get that watch time, to build that trust, and then you make your sales video off that. So you make like 5 videos that are straight content, evergreen. What is this? How do you do that? Best way, top 5 tips, whatever it is. Top 5 essential oils, top 5 tips for essential oils, 2018 essential oils guidelines, whatever. You make all those videos, and you make one sales video. Right. Or your essential oils package, and you only send that video to people who have seen the other 5 or maybe 2 of them, and so now you're marketing to qualified people, and they're more likely to buy.
So when you say you're sending that to the qualified people, we're now talking about consumers of your content on YouTube that have been learning, and are you saying that would have been done through effort to build your email list through some other way? Because
all of the above.
Oh yeah, okay. Because I wanted to give one other scenario. Take like I'm a personal trainer, a fitness and health personal trainer, and I really need to up my game. I'm looking at trying to make things happen with a YouTube channel, but I also know I got my group coaching programs, and I want to get live on Facebook, and I want to build a community there. Like, so how do you tackle roughly with a client like that to say, you need to do both platforms? I'm just trying to understand, Owen, like the strategy, how you might apply to someone that really should be executing on both platforms. Like you talked about the advertising and doing different videos to support the general knowledge and the education and giving them the tips and the value, but then you have to do your selling, because you're in business to sell, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I love Arthur Moorhead's question, so I'd love to tackle that if we can in the future. But here's the thing about this question right here, is that as a business owner, you have got to be running ads. And this whole idea of organic is a lie. It is a lie because it really only exists for people like Nick Nimmin, as an example, or Evan Carmichael, right? And here's what I mean by that. It's not like you can't duplicate it. But in getting to duplicate that, you have got to be the best of the best and willing to live off of top ramen for 4 years. Yeah. I mean it. Nick lives in Thailand. His cost of living is so much lower. And I'm not saying Nick was able to do it because Nick created a life for himself where this is what he could commit to. And he did it. And we are so proud of him. Yeah. He is someone that we just all know, love, and respect. But if you've got 3 kids in high school, a full-time business, and a wife, you are going to struggle through this organic thing, right? Whereas, what is your superpower? Well, you have a business. So stop spending so much money on ice cream, popcorn, and soda on Fridays, and instead invest that money into ads. And now with ads, what you're doing is you're building, number one, you're building retargeting lists. Okay. So you've got a retargeting list of everyone that watched your videos on YouTube. Okay. So everyone that watched these 5, now what a retargeting list is, it's just like a hypothetical list. It's like a virtual list. So everyone that, and you can program it. So you say, all right, YouTube, anybody that watches this video, or this video, put them in a bucket.
Yep.
Right. And then they do. And then when it comes time to run an ad, you're going to say, okay, YouTube, I'm making this new video. I want you to send this video to everyone who's in that bucket. You can do the same thing on Facebook. So you make these live videos. That's what we do on Facebook. We do these live videos all the time, and then we have a retargeting list of anyone who's watched our live videos. And then if they've watched 2 or more of our live videos, they automatically get an ad for my Livestream Gear Guide, which, by the way, you can get at livestreamgearguide.com. And I've got tons of great tips in there. But that's how ads work. It's not necessarily like, you run an ad to everybody who's a male, 35 through 55, who makes this much money, because that's your core demographic.
Right.
Your sales are going to come from people inside that core demographic that already know who you are. For example, I got a call yesterday from a guy who, Alex is saying, Alex Becker, Ty Lopez, they all built stuff off of ads. Yeah. So did Squatty Potty. So did Dollar Shave Club. This whole idea of Dollar Shave Club was a viral video in the cultural milieu, right? Which in our culture, when someone says viral, we assume organic, but that's not at all the case for 90% of organic videos. It's how business wins the culture, right? They create the terms and then break the terms behind the table. And it's not illegal. It's not unethical. It's not Squatty Potty's fault that some guy in Brooklyn calls it viral. It has nothing to do with that, right? It's all about making money for your business. So you've got to be in a place where you have an ad budget, and maybe it's $50 a month, maybe it's $50 a week, right? We're spending much more than that.
Right.
But we have an ad system where we get people free stuff. We give them stuff for free. And as soon as they log into the free stuff, we start to sell them a $7 item and then a $12 item and then so on and so forth. So I spend about $500 a month in ads. Those ads make me more than I spend. Not enough to pay my bills, but more than I spend in ads. So guess what? It's this self-fulfilling, self-propelling system that keeps me in front of my target demographic and makes lead generation free. So I'm building my list, 1,000 people a month, if not more, for free because of the ads. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I really like the way you describe the strategy of using the videos first to connect with the people, and then you're sort of building your list subliminally in a way, right? Just by consumption. And now Arthur had his question. It was, so how do we get a live interview and or anyone else?
Yeah,
so he's trying to say, yeah.
Can we do Gord Herman's question first?
Oh, okay, sure.
Relevant to what we're talking about.
Yeah, it says, if the main purpose of your content is to drive people off YouTube and onto another site, it will likely violate our spam policies. How do you balance keeping people on YouTube via driving them off YouTube?
Yeah, so Herman, great question. The difference is content versus ads. When YouTube is talking about content, they're talking about your organic uploads that you are not putting ad spend behind. So the idea is that if you're uploading videos on a regular basis and every video is designed to sell an ebook or something like that, you're going to find yourself battling the YouTube algorithm constantly. YouTube is going to remember, it's AI, right? They're going to remember that all of your videos say, go to this website. All of your videos have that link in the description box. All of your videos have a card. So they know that your objective is trying to get people off. In fact, I was sitting down with Daryl Eves at VidSummit 2 years ago, and I was asking him about description boxes, and he goes, you know what I would do if I were you? He says, if I were you, Owen, I would just eliminate all external links in your
videos
description box and only link to other videos. You'll have 1 or 2 or 3 videos that do link out. Right? So maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in 5 videos actually link out. That's your POW content, right? Push, pull, POW, right? That's the kind of content you want to make. Pull content brings people in. Push content is thought leadership content. POW content is conversion content. So the whole idea is that you're driving people to your POW content, and that's where they're converting, right? With ads, means you're putting money behind them. You're actually paying YouTube to drive people. So they will send people to your site, and they're not going to ding your channel for it. So content versus ads. In my content now, all we do is try to drive people to other videos.
Okay. Very good and quite useful strategy. And did you want to answer Arthur's question about the finding how do you find a live interview? Okay. How do you get a live interview and or anyone else? So I guess he's finding candidates too.
Yeah, I have a pretty phenomenal system for getting guys. I do 2 live shows a week for my company and another company. We're about to launch a third, so we're going to be doing 3 live shows per week. I need to get an amen button here, but 3 live shows per week, right? That's big. In fact, well, I won't get into all that, but we're hosting all of them. So I'm really more of a live stream host than I am a business consultant when you think about it. But that's just kind of an interesting observation on where this is all going. I got lost in that. What was the question? Okay, so I have a.
How do you find your interview guests?
Here's what I hate. Okay, here's what I hate. I hate it. And I don't hate you or anybody who does this. I hate it when this happens.
Right.
I hate it when someone's like, hey, Owen, can I get an interview with you? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to help you out. And they go, great. When are you available? And I'm like, F if I know, dude. Send me a freaking link, right? Calendly, Vacita, all of these things. You click a link, you pick a time. But it's like, oh, you let me know, right? So it's like, oh, Thursday at 2. Oh, I'm already booked. How about Wednesday at 4? Oh, I'm already booked. How about Friday? I value my time way too much to have that conversation. Okay, bottom line. So I can't stand these conversations where it's like, well, when's good for you? And I'll tell you. You think it's easy, but it's not. So the first answer I have to that, and I want to respond to Alex too, because I'm so passionate about that. The first thing I want to say is this, is that you have to have a very fluid link system. Hey, I'd love to have you on my show. Would you be interested? Yes, great. Here's a link. It's in their hands. If they don't click it, they don't really want to be on your show. Okay, sorry. Move on to the person. That's number 1. Number 2 is, how do you find people? Well, first, you interview your friends and neighbors in the space. That's the first thing you do. I built the Business of Video podcast, which is still in its infancy. I built that show off of my friends, Kevin Davis, Lasse Ruhanen. I think Nick Nimmin was a guest in the very beginning before he became a co-host. And boy, did I grab him at the right time. You know what I mean? I grabbed him at like 30,000 subs and maybe even 25,000 subs. Just a great, and he's just an amazing person to work with. Beyond being a great guy, working with him is like butter. So I just enjoy that. But when somebody clicks the link and they schedule with me, it's easy. Now, where do I find guests? Well, you start your show with your friends and neighbors in the industry, and you practice your show on them. Your goal is to get one solid episode that you run ads to it, you boost it. So now you've got one show that has like 3,000, 4,000 views on it, right? Now what you're doing is you're going to go find other podcasts that interview similar guests, and you're going to go to their podcast list and look at who they interviewed, and you're going to go reach out to those people. Right? And you're going to send them, hey, would you love to be on my show? Here's an example. And they're going, oh, wow, 3,000, 4,000 views. Cool. I'm going to get noticed on this video. And now they say, yeah, hey, I'd love to be on your show, Alex or Alex, as Moorhead, Arthur. Arthur. Hey, I'd love to be on your show, Arthur. When can I be on? You send them a link. And now you've done 2 things. You've not only booked your show, but you've created the impression that you're easy to work with. That's going to spread by word of mouth. A lot of times your guests will recommend other guests to have on the show. So that's my method for finding guests. And, I've got a producer that works on 2 of my shows. That these are like they're friends. They're they're in it for the referrals that I send them. You know what I mean? Right. Not taking pay for the show, but it's like somebody calls me from the show and says, "Oh, and I need a videographer." Boom, I send it to my producer. You know what I mean? And it really works out for everybody. So that's the big thing about getting guests on your show is finding similar shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then getting those guests. Hey, I saw that you were on Gord Isman's show. I'd love to have you on my show. We're very similar, but we do it this way. And would you be? And here's a sample. We had 5,000 views. You know, we're really getting up there. And oh wow, great. How do I send them a link, right? And you're good to go.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. I really like that. And we have a few more questions here before I go on to the next thing I have my curiosity on. Chris said, should a person name their channel after themselves or after an idea or niche, like why Owen Video?
Yeah, I went with, okay, that's a great question, Chris. And the reason that I called myself Owen Video, my channel before was called The Video Spot. And that was it still is my company. It's my agency side, right? It's the LLC that runs everything, okay? The problem is that I realized that people didn't love my product, they loved me. So I changed my channel name to Owen Video, and I changed my logo to my profile pic.
Right.
And that was one of very few smart things I've ever done in my life, right? Yeah. Is realizing that people didn't love the video spot. They loved Owen. So that's what I went with. Now, Chris, if people love your company more than they care about who you are, then keep it named after your company. Okay. It's a very personal question to ask. There isn't this, here's a better way to do it. Mm-hmm. Amy Schmittauer, fantastic. Amy Landino is her name now.
Right.
You know, she had a company called Savvy Sexy Social or Vlog Boss, but nobody really even knew what that is. Right. Right. It was Amy, and people know her as Amy. So that is her channel. She's Amy. I've got other people like Zapata Media, right?
Yeah.
He's creating a brand. He's a social manager. He's a social media manager. So I get what he's doing there. So that's how you answer that question is are you promoting your content, your company's content, right? And that's the way you're gonna.
Yeah, and that's why because I'm a solopreneur and I was just starting out, I didn't have a pre-existing business, and my business is all about connecting with people. I chose to use my name clearly as the brand as opposed to like coming up with some kind of name. And so I can understand that it's personal in every situation, you know, can define what path you're going to take, right? If you have an awesome pre-existing business, you know, that you seriously want to consider using it.
With Google results, you know, and I just wasn't that guy, you know.
Yep.
Now, I'll say something else, Chris Heidelbaugh. My name's Owen Hemsath, and I changed my name to Owen Video because nobody could remember what my name was. They mispronounced it all the time, and it makes you look like a fool. So, you know, when I got an award for the state of California, and I got to go up to Congress in Sacramento, and it was amazing. When they announced my name, they completely butchered it, and it didn't make them look bad. No one's going to laugh at California's representatives. They're going to laugh at you. And I remember thinking this was supposed to be like the biggest day of the year for me. And it was fun. It was super fun.
Right.
But I got so tanked on the plane. I really did. I had way more gin and tonics than I should have because I was pissed off that I looked stupid. You know, Owen Hemsath, everyone's kind of laughing. Oh, the biggest moment in my year that year, and everyone's laughing at me. Not they're like laughing. It's not like if people can't pronounce your name the right time, they're not going to remember it. They're going to remember laughing at you. Oh, that's the nerdy guy with the weird last name. Is that really Chris Heidelbaugh who you want to be? Mm-hmm. And you got to ask yourself that. Now, you might also have like this real strong connection to your last name. We're like, I'm a freaking Heidelbaugh. You know, my family built this country.
Right.
So keep your name. But you have to, like, look at Gary Vaynerchuk. He tells you how to pronounce it so you don't screw it up because he doesn't want to look stupid. Right. And that's the power of Gary Vaynerchuk. And so, Chris, if you're going to do Chris Heidelbaugh, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right, you need to have on your website Heidelbaugh so people know how to pronounce it and you are taking control over your brand. I changed my name to Owen Video because my last name doesn't matter. I love my family. I love our history, but it was Hemsath and they changed it when we came here. I don't have that same, like, it's just a name to me. And when I'm, you know, dead and gone, it's dust in the wind, man. Like, that's how I live my life, right? So Owen Video is for my marketing purposes. People will remember that, and they now they laugh with me. They go, dude, that's the coolest name ever, right? And there's some other reasons I did it as well. Part of my personal philosophy about integrating, you know, humanity and the digital world. I want to before you go into your question, sure. I want to go. Joe asked something. He said, do you use the same strategy for YouTube with the ads. Yeah, very similarly, ad platforms work very much the same. Sales psychology works very much the same. With YouTube, you got to know about your pre-roll ads versus your discovery ads, right? Discovery ads work differently. Someone has to click the video, but pre-roll just plays. So they just got to click, and it's a very, very different call to action.
And I think the example you gave also, you were talking about the targeting is based on the people who watched your videos. So
yeah.
Just to be clear that the example you gave was about actually using YouTube as an advertising platform.
The philosophy is going to be the same.
Yeah.
The way we do it, the ad itself will change for the platform. Or platform people purpose. So your ads, you don't upload your Facebook ads onto YouTube. It doesn't work that way. Right. I suppose there is some crossover with the pre-roll. Alex said this. He said, so many channels with links out have been exploding. I don't know, man. I think it depends. Well, obviously, right?
Well, take me for example, Owen. Right, I started in October, November. I started to do with some of my tutorials in Camtasia. I provide the template of the cool thing that I'm doing. Like I did the glitch example with your branding, right? And people love that tutorial. And now I have a link out. I'm actually building my email list nicely thanks to that kind of contribution. And so I guess I'm losing out in the perspective that you described, but I'm also building my email list. So I guess it depends on what you're doing with different videos and what the targeted purpose is of that piece of content as well, like you said. But are you saying that YouTube is going to penalize you based on a general factor that if you do that 90% of the time, or is it on a one-by-one basis, like you said?
I think it's a cumulative approach, right? Because you, and especially with the whole 1,000 subs, 10,000 minutes, 4,000, or whatever it is, that whole thing right there, it's all cumulative. So YouTube is a cumulative system. Facebook is a one-off situation, right? Like we could be amazed. Like we run Facebook ads all the time. They love us. One ad violates a tiny rule. You'd think they'd just let it go, right? YouTube would. Nah, not Facebook could care less. They're a heartless, faceless company. And I actually truly believe that about Facebook. Whereas YouTube, I think, has at least a little bit of concern for the people that are making them. Because with Facebook, if every influencer on Facebook left today, a whole bunch more would pop up. If all the influencers on YouTube left today, it would take years to replace them, because you can't just want to be an influencer. You actually have to do the work. So Facebook doesn't work that way. So here's what I want to go with that. It's a cumulative scenario. If every video you're doing is like, hey, go to my thing. Hey, go to my thing. Hey, go to my thing. You're going to get dinged. But he's saying all of these channels are exploding. Well, dude, they have massive email lists. They don't know the YouTube algorithm. Right. So you gotta remember that is that you don't know their situation. And in most times, like if you see a video with tons of views on it, but then you never see that video in the related section, they ran it to an email list or they ran ads to it, So knowing that helps you to sort of understand, first of all, it helps not get so jealous, right? Because how did they get all this? I'm doing better stuff than them. It's like, well, they got 10,000 people on their list, man. That's their advantage. Your advantage is ads work. And so hit people with your advantage. If you're like Alex, and Alex, am I saying it right?
That's Alex, I think. Yep.
Okay. So if you're not, you got to look at your advantage. If Alex is great at ranking videos, he'll do a video and get 20,000 views on it in a week. It's amazing what he's able to do with fishing videos.
You know what's funny, Owen?
Hang on, that's his superpower.
Yeah.
So do that better than anyone else, and build your list with your superpower, so that now using your superpower, you can get on the same level as those other guys, and you eliminate their advantage.
Yeah. So Alex writes there in the text there, Ali X, and as in Muhammad Ali that you're wearing on your shirt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so Herman has another question here. Are you using in-stream ads on your own channel or have a separate channel to run them?
My own channel, because I want the watch time. Okay.
So my next question is something that I'm very interested to hear the answer in, and that's about the concept of better done than perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do we apply that to live stream? Because you've talked about, and you know, there's no question you can do certain things to sort of control what you're doing when you're creating so that it goes into the feed, from sound effects to, you know, special effects like kinetic text and other things. But what do you do in your live workflow process to ensure you get a certain minimum threshold product quality? So now, because of live, we still want to have a decent quality thing. So what is like that checklist, or some of the things to think about so that you're not going to flub up and blow the live, right?
The big thing for me is the ROS. You got to have a run of show. You got to have a checklist for your show. And then you got to have a checklist for the checklist, right? So for me, it's like, what makes a good live, and then what are we going to do? So I just did a live stream on TubeBuddy called 5 Tips for Live Streaming.
Right.
And I only 5 of those things that you need to have. But it's kind of like, you know, what's our opening statement? What's the opening statement? Do we have a branded bumper? Yes, we do. What's our first segment? How are we getting the audience engaged? How are we getting shares? How are we getting comments? And audience engagement is like a philosophical thing, right?
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, well, audience engagement is like likes and comments and shares. Yeah, kind of. But audience engagement is a buy-in. How do I get my audience doing this? Or in many cases, I want my audience putting my browser on a separate screen, right, and then going back to their work. That, let me tell you guys, that is the money right there. How many of you guys watching this have been watching passively, meaning you're not looking at the screen, but you're listening to it while you're driving, while you're working on something else? I know probably Carlos is, right? Because Kiwi's not giving him a day off, right? I know that, right? So that's what I want. How do I get buy-in? And a lot of that comes from the opening headline. So the first thing you say, in fact, there's a video coming out on Thursday called how to grab attention in your live stream videos. That's what it's all about, is that first thing you say. When someone watches on a replay, they're going to hear the first thing you say. But if somebody watches live, they probably won't even join you until like 10 minutes in.
Right. And they know the replay is going to be there later anyways.
Well, and they don't care. They don't care. They missed the first 10 minutes, but they got the last 50. They're not going to go back and watch it. So your replay viewer is so important.
Right.
Right. How do you get that buy-in from them? Okay. And then using open loops, right? Making sure that whatever it is that you're promoting, like the buy-in, you don't get to it right away. I see so many live streams where it's, I mean, I don't know. It's like, hey, today we're going to be talking about, how to build a Facebook page, and our guest is here. And so what's your first tip? I'll watch that for a bit, but it's kind of like, well, I'll watch it later. And then guess what? I never do. Right? And maybe I do, but I rarely go back and watch stuff. Now you say, hey, today we're going to show you how to build a YouTube channel, Facebook page to 50,000 people. And our guest today is going to share with you 7 core tips. But before we get to that, I want to know a little bit about who you guys are. So leave me a comment in the comment area. And so now it's kind of like, I got to wait. I got to wait before I can get to that main content. That's going to increase your watch time. It's also going to help you get that engagement, right? Because you're hoping that while they're waiting for the thing, that you say something else that gets them to type. Yep. And now, it all stems off of the buy-in. So it's so many things. And I've got a course coming out on live streaming. Hopefully it comes out in the next month, because it's already 90% ready. I really should just launch it and then the rest later. But
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I see more and more the concept of course launching. It's not about completing the full thing, because in fact, you can actually evolve the course through the process of delivering the first several modules, and then you may improve upon the product you were going to have, just because now that people started up, let's say in a beta launch, and then they can all of a sudden get some of the content and have more input, and you even get to prolong your engagement and connection and build it as you're going. There's a lot of interesting advantages to that, and I think that
100%. Arthur is Shannon is Arthur says brilliant. Thank you, my man. Shannon is running errands right now. Joe is saying he goes back and forth watching us. Jen saying that she does it. So this is what people do.
I sometimes stick my phone in my pocket and throw on a set of headphones while I'm doing chores and things. I don't need to necessarily have the visual. It's being able to hear what's going on too. So
yeah, and this is why voice is going to be huge, because people are going to say, Alexa, play the Business of Video podcast, and it's just going to play. And so we're really focused on, I mean, there is so much going on my show, on the Wednesday show. It will blow your mind, because at the end of the day, we still need to have high quality audio, and you just don't get high quality audio on Facebook Live. So we have to have a third party audio stream going, and that burns up your CPU. So there's so many things going, but it starts as a basic checklist of the show that you think will be good. And then you add something onto it. You add whipped cream to that, and then you add a cherry, and then you add peanuts. And now you're making 2 shakes at once. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
You are not going to come out of the gates with a show like mine.
Yeah, because actually that's one of the things I want to get to, but I want to get a little later. Like, that's towards the end. Is the question's going to be, I'm someone just starting out, give me 3 tips, but I didn't want to jump there yet. See, there's my open loop. Hang in.
And we have to get there fast, because I got all the kids home now, so
okay.
my wife's waiting to leave. So
I wanted to know about now I drew a blank.
Analog 64 is putting up a security camera while listening to this. That's awesome. Gord, while you're thinking of I hate dead air, so I'm just going to jump in while Gord's looking for that question. And then Herman, I just freaking love you, dude. Are you using placement targeting? Yes. Placements, where you're targeting people on YouTube. Are you targeting videos? Are you targeting channels? Are you targeting keywords? Yes, we do that, and we do a lot of it. Guys, running ads is not like running ads. Like, oh, I'm going to run an ad. You're actually running like 50 ads. And you're running, the blue ad to these 25 people, and then you're running the orange ad to these 25 places, right? And you're seeing which one does better. But Zapata is saying, should I replace my wardrobe with black V-necks? I highly recommend it, sir. Herman is saying, if so, what software do you find monetized videos? I don't. Now, if I had to recommend a software, I would recommend V-Roll. V-Roll makes it so easy to find monetized placements. I don't do that because you don't know who's watching those videos. Like, what we do is we just use AdWords, and we say, okay, anybody watching these channels, and we're always adding channels to that and eliminating channels. Hey, well, we got a strong result from Tim Schmoyer's channel. I target Tim Schmoyer's channel. I find they watch, but they don't buy. I don't need broke people following me, so I don't target his channel as much anymore. I do something, but you see how that works? Like, you want to make sure that you're targeting people that are actually getting a result. So you target a lot. You find out where your results are, and you double down on those results. Yeah,
I got that. So I remember my question. It has to do with, because now you're doing so many of these live stream productions plus pre-recorded video, etc. At what point and where was the wake-up call that you realized it's me, it's Owen, it's my connection, it's me getting out there that the people want, and it's not about me being, quote unquote, the videographer, the editor, and all of these other things that you learned all the technical skills to execute on. So this is about business growth, this question. So, like, what do you say to people? Like, how do you know when? Like, I'm sitting here, I've done, 6 or 7 or 8 live streams in the past 3 weeks, which from like doing one in the last 6 months before was like just like an overwhelm for me in the way I went through the process and how I'm learning. But you and Nick, like the level you guys are going at is just crazy. Like, I mean, to people like me looking in, right? Like,
go ahead.
You couldn't get there without giving up things and having a support team and growing the business. You know what I mean? Like, in order to get those other resources to fit into your process.
Well, yeah, but it also becomes a matter of what you really want to do, right? For me, I really want to live stream. I love it. So I'm willing to give up some of the other things. I'm willing to give up. I'm really giving you guys insider tips here, but I had a client call me the other day. He saw my podcast once and called me. And so by the end of the phone call, he's asking me for references. And that to me is a huge turnoff. Okay. It's like, dude, I am not a plumber. I am not a painter. I'm Owen frickin' Video. And if you don't know that, then you have cheated me, sir. And I don't even know if I'm going to get back to him. Like, I don't care. I have way too many clients. I have way too much business going on to like make sure that this guy gets 3 testimonials that he can call. That to me is an old way of doing business, and it sort of like indicates to me this is not a client that can make it in this business. Okay,
Right.
You know, I have built a reputation for myself, so I'm willing to sacrifice some of the business to keep growing the show. I'm willing to sacrifice my health. I don't mean health, but I mean weight. Right, I'm chubbier than I'm used to being because I put more time into the show. So it's not about so much like being able to like be so successful that you grow. Mm-hmm. It's more about what are you willing to cut out of your life? Are you willing to cut out 2 or 3 of your snacks and instead just focus on your live stream? Are you willing to cut out the movies, the $15 movie ticket, so that you can buy more live stream equipment? Right, that's I think what it becomes about. Now, as you continue to grow, you can, it's a trade-off, right? But in the meantime, you'll grow when you give up the things that aren't as important to you. We all have our idols, man. And we will hold on to our idols. I struggle with it myself. The things that I'm like, oh, why haven't I been able to give up this bad habit yet? For whatever reason, my body loves it, I love it, and it takes time away from my creativity, right? But you've got to be in a place where you're saying, hey, I'm willing to not do any more Instagram posts, right? Like me, my Instagram is maybe I'll do Insta. I do it when I can, but I don't focus on it because it takes time away from where I'm really getting results. So focus in on your results and double down there, as opposed to like trying to do everything.
Okay, so just 1 or 2 left and we're done. And this one I wanted to ask you is what do you say to people when they say, well, how long a show should I do if I'm a solo podcaster, video podcaster versus someone who's going to do an interview style show like you and Nick do? Like, how do you resolve or come up with a recommendation for how long a show someone should do on a YouTube live stream?
I think that you just need to start with an hour. You just need to start with an hour. And if you can't talk for an hour about something, then you probably aren't an expert in your field. Unfortunately. And so that's part of it. Now, I know I was watching a show yesterday. It was a half an hour. And I thought, that's really cool. It was a half an hour. But the show was about, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? So it wasn't like an expert matter thing. It was more like, hey, we're going to do a fun live stream to keep our channel going, right? You've got to be ready to talk for an hour so that you can compare yourself to other hour shows, which I think most of us are doing.
Right.
Live for 10 minutes has a place. Right, I'll do these really quick lives if they're like if I have a joke I wanted to do. I'll do a quick joke live stream, and it's 5 seconds and it's out there, right? And it's just easy to watch, it's easy to rank, that sort of thing. Half an hour that works, but again, most people won't even know about it till 10 minutes in. Not only does Facebook have to distribute it or YouTube have to distribute it, means they've got to get it out there.
Yes.
Then after they get it out there, people have to see the notification on their phone, right?
Yeah.
And then they decide they want to watch it. So there's all these things that happen, and you're 10, 20 minutes into your show, 30 minutes later, you're done. I'm not sure that's the best way to go. Today we did our show, and our chat bot didn't go out. 500 people on our chat bot. So it didn't go out. We forgot to send it, and
I got it. I got something. That's how I ended up there, but it was later in.
Yes, it was later in on the day because I'm sitting here going like, oh crap, I didn't send it. And so during the show, I clicked send, and by the end of the show, we had almost our average viewers, but we normally get 30 to 40 people on our show. So we only had 25 today. I was very disappointed. You have got to give people the absolute maximum amount of time to get to the show.
We have a special guest, Justin Brown, just popped in. Hi, Justin. Woo! Welcome.
Justin waking up. It must be that time in Thailand or
Australia. Yeah. I'm very curious. Like
I'm teasing Justin, by the way. I'm teasing him.
This question is about where because of what's happened with technology and the simplicity and I'll call it the barriers of entry are being smashed down with the simplicity of all of this. So where do you see live going? Like, is it going to just get totally saturated? Like everybody is going to be doing it? And then I'm asking it this way because I don't believe like everybody should be live streaming. And if they aren't going to live stream, does that mean they're losing out on their video marketing or things that they can do to help successfully build their business through online video? I mean, what do you say to those people that go, hey, Owen, I'm just not going to be able to do this, and it's not for me. What are my alternatives, and how would you recommend that what kind of strategy options do they have to execute on online video marketing if they're not going to do live?
If they're not going to do live, well, here's my thoughts. What's the difference between live and doing a YouTube video in your garage? What's the difference?
Well, you can do 10 takes before you can come across and feel that you are palatable to the people.
You can do that live. Why can you not do that live?
I guess people have identity issues and fear of what perception is and don't want to be seen in certain ways. There's a lot of hangups. Look, Owen, 2 years ago, I wouldn't step in front of a camera, and now here I am. Right. So I understand. Would be my advice for you. And that would be and this is where I go with my clients. And this is why I have to work with higher end clients, because they're used to being spoken to in this way, or they want to be spoken to like an NBA coach. Right. So the idea is this, is someone says, look, I'm not ready to do live. It's not my thing. I'm going to mess up. It's okay. So what we need to do is build your skill sets. Now, I don't think live is essential for businesses. But it's kind of like, I want the results of live video, but I don't want to actually have to do live. So, Owen, how do I get the results of live video without actually doing the work from live video? That's where I'm like, you can't. Your ego's in the way, right? But the idea is that you're building up skill sets. And I think you're doing a great job, Gord. Don't you guys agree? Gord's doing a great job. You got to build up those skill sets, and you do that with fundamentals, right? Like, how do you open up it's process, formatting, duplication, all these different things. But you're never gonna get the results of live if you don't go live. Pre-recorded video is a young man's game. It is grueling, and I'm not saying only young people can do it. I'm just saying you got to have the energy of a young man. You have got to be willing to scrape. You have got to be willing to scrounge. You have got to be willing to cry your eyes out because the video didn't do well, that you loved. Hey, I'm grinding, Owen, and I'm not a young man. But I have the heart of it.
You have the heart of a young man. That's exactly what I'm saying, though. That's what, you have got to scrape your way to the top, and that's, Justin Brown, I think, is a great example. He's, him and his brother are younger guys, but they were building for a year to get, maybe longer than that, to get to where they were. And they've had some phenomenal growth. They've also got a very successful business. So they've been able to get help with artwork, and they've been able to get help with process. And these are wonderful advantages. If you're not in that place, you are going to have to lie, cheat, and steal. And I that's right, because I don't believe in any of those things. But you have to scrape your way to the top.
Yeah, I think that's so important. That, I mean, for me, I remember when I first started out with Brian, he said to me, Gord, you're looking at least a solid couple of years before you're really going to know that things are going to start to move, and you got to be committed to do that. And it's so easy to get into this game thinking I'm going to get much quicker results because watch, I think I know this, I'll be like that. Yeah. And we don't know. We can't predict the timing, when that connection is going to happen, when the audience is going to show up, when, is it the algorithm started to give me some love all of a sudden, or some website started to feature my content and now I'm blowing up. There's all kinds of reasons and rationalizations we can sit and apply, and we don't often know what's gonna turn out, and being able to have the resolve to do that grind, like you said. I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that. And believe me, I've been tested so many times with ups and downs on all of this, Owen, because, I'm 58 now, and to sit there and go like investing multiple years in this at this stage with like a very uncertain kind of outcome is something that I think about. But, thankfully the last, 3-4 months, things have really started to go in that direction. And it's been a lot from a lot of that extra grind and energy that I put in. And it makes a big difference.
And it does make a difference, and you have to go into it with the long-term view. I think that doing live is how you get results while your pre-recorded is building momentum. Guys, I don't get amazing results on my YouTube channel. I get lots of leads. Don't get me wrong. I get lots of leads and I get lots of phone calls. So maybe I can do it. But, when I release a new video, I don't get 1,000 views right off the bat, and it hurts me. It does. Every time I release a new video, I go through disappointment. And that's just part of the game. Brian Johnson gets more views in 48 hours than I do. Nick Nimmin, pound for pound, gets way more than I do. I mean, even pound for pound, even when I equate the numbers to make them the same,
right?
Still gets a higher percentage. Nick has built his channel professionally. Brian, excellent job building. And my success has been based on old algorithms. I got big 2 algorithms ago, and so you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of bothered into a big channel, but I'm learning how to master this thing. So the stuff I'm doing on live, and that's why I go live on Wednesdays. I have new videos come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's always kind of like, the Tuesday video, didn't do too well, but hey, I got the podcast tomorrow. Thursday video, I didn't do too well, but hey, I got a cool, the podcast yesterday was awesome. And so there's this biting of my time. And I was talking to Nick today. Look, if I can't get my channel where I want it in by the end of the year, we're going to pull back our efforts there, and we're going to use it as more of a legacy platform and focus on live. Right. But I think that I will. I think that we will pop it because I think I really.
Well, I think, I mean, this is a very interesting point, because I think the proliferation of live for people that have that ability to show their skills, their super talents, and connect with the people like you do, that it's just made to help you, blast things to that next level. And even though that the platform may, in the technical sense of what you may deliver on some of those videos like you're doing, is pre-recorded, the value of what you deliver in live is so huge that it makes me wonder about those that don't have that ability to succeed and be so special in live. What's going to happen to them? You know what I mean? If they want to come into the platform, because now it's like the charismatic winner, the person that's able to communicate and put themselves out there in a way. But these things are challenges in life anyways, right? I mean,
you're gonna have them anyway. Yeah, it's if it's not gonna be one thing, it's another. If it's not gonna be that, it's gonna be cancer. When I got cancer, I was blowing up. So it's like, my channel was great, but I got sick. It's always gonna be something, and so you've got to stay focused on that end game.
Yeah, and that's an awesome way to come towards the end and share a comment here. But Justin said, "Gotta stick with it. It gets easier. So many times we nearly pulled the pin. First 50 subs felt like it took forever. First 100, we were seriously questioning what we were doing." I'll add to that. First 500, first 600, 700 for me. I had the same kind of feeling. But then I don't believe that we can sit there measuring the numbers and know exactly when it's going to happen. You can't sit there and predict, because I took breaks 2 times, 3 weeks at a piece, and I cratered for a bit. But then I had another break and only was producing once a week starting in November, for November, December. But my channel took off, and there were all kinds of other variables involved, and now it's growing at an even more rapid rate. And so I think it's about not focusing. Owen, you hit the nail on the head, and trying to connect with your bigger why and be committed in that bigger sense. And
the bigger why is huge, and Justin has been such a great source of coaching. I call Justin, and I call his brother Mike when I need help, when I'm stuck, and also
fantastic.
Just motivation. When I met Justin, he remembers I was really down on myself, and I was just always knocking myself, like, man, I suck. I'm the worst of all the big guys. You know what I mean? And Justin is a guy who just would never accept that from me. He's just like, stop that negative self-talk. And I don't even know if he recognized that he did that for me. But I remember going to bed and I was thinking, Justin's right. I need to stop talking so much smack on myself.
Yeah. I'm a master of that, Owen, but watching you, and I see the difference in you, and having seen and known you for the time period I have, this is like a super confident Owen, and making a difference to all of us. And we're all blessed to have Owen and people like Justin, Nick. I mean, I'm really enjoying getting to meet all of you guys in the community, and I'm just grateful to be able to do this and be able to help people and have a conversation like this with you, and I greatly appreciate that. And so, Owen, what's next? Like you started doing a lot more speaking, so in closing, just give us a sense of like what's ahead. You gave a lot of insight into how busy you are with clients, and you got all kinds of cool things you're doing for people.
I said we're blowing up, but I didn't say we're busy. I am blessed with a great team, and yes, we are blowing up. And you know what? I got the rest of the afternoon. I mean, I've got some things to do, but I got the rest of the afternoon. you know, I'm chilling because I've got the right people in place. And it took a long time to get those people in place. I've spent a lot of time learning how to hire and what to look for. Justin says you're too hard on yourself. Totally, man. It's an issue I think a lot of us sort of struggle with. But yeah, things are going great. And here's my plan right now, guys. Not only is my business blowing up, and we're gonna be right up there with Daryl Eves. We're gonna be right up there with Jeremy Vest in terms of revenue and client stature.
That's awesome.
Right now, I have 2 clients that are nationally recognized brands. Excuse me, 3 clients that are nationally recognized brands. And I am stoked to be working with them. Where we're going, though, is we are going to be the Owen Video is going to be synonymous with top quality live streaming. People are going to build their live stream shows off of the things that I'm doing today. We are going to have the best marketing show on Facebook. The best, not a good one, not one of the best. We will have the best miles away. Have you guys seen Owen Video's show? It's incredible. So that's what's happening for us. Like, I'm in a place, thanks to people like Gord and Nick and Justin, motivating, encouraging me, Brian G. Johnson, and patting me on the back and picking me up when I'm down. We have decided that we're not going to stop until everyone in the country, in the Western world, says you've got to build a live show the way Owen Video does.
Well, I'm already there, Owen. I recommend your show to all kinds of people. And I just found out the other day about a really cool app for the phones. I think it's called Castbox. Are you familiar with it? And found there's all kinds of easy ways to download and access to your podcast on there. And
cool.
I think it's great. Yeah, you check it out, Castbox. But I'm presuming they'll have an iOS version. And okay. So, I notice you have some speaking engagements coming this year as well. Like, you were really busy for like throughout the fall, weren't you? I remember. So this coming.
Lots going on. Speaking, I'll speak when I'm asked to speak. I'm working on some workshops with some companies that we all know and love, and I don't want to go too far into that, but everything's on the table right now. I want to build a local army. I want to turn you into, and I'm talking to you in the audience right now, I want to turn you into a live stream producer. If you want to make money, look, I get more calls per day than I can handle for how to set up a live stream show. And at the end of the day, I say, you need to hire a producer. Well, who do I hire? And it's like, well, you hire one of my producers, only they're completely booked, I'm looking for people like you that want to run live stream shows for people and can do that once a week. And we can hire that out. I mean, we are working on just going all the way with this. And I'm so excited about it because, even if we fail by 90%, we're still in a place where we're doing what we love and doing it on our own terms. And I couldn't have asked for a better situation than that. So thanks for having me, Gord. I'm sorry I've got to leave. I love great. Kids knocking on my door. It's been
a pleasure, and I appreciate you taking all this time today and sharing your experiences with us, and it's been fantastic. And thank you, everyone. And I look forward to doing more of these because the feedback's been great, and getting to know people like you, Owen, has been so helpful for me in growing and taking on the challenges and stepping up. And I know that this is, what you're hoping for all of us to do in what we're doing to go. And I love that Go Pappy just called us Batman and Robin. So there you go.
Which one's Robin, pal? Hey,
I'm Robin, he said. You're wearing the black, man. You own it already.
Hey, I can't wait to see the watch time stats on this. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you, Owen.
I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.